Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So big breaking news now is coming out in regards to Ligt Ligt, a player I've been giving you an update on a regular basis. So now according to reports from Spain, Manchester United have launched an improved offer for Ligt. Potentially reflecting back, was it a couple of weeks ago that Manchester United offered Ligt a contract worth around £12 million per year, but reportedly Ligt had turned this down. But now reportedly we've come up with an improved offer, and this could be very tempting indeed. So reportedly Manchester United now have got a great chance of getting the pursuit of the player. Obviously we do know that Ligt has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously we know the likes of Barcelona have been heavily linked to him. Obviously they're in search for a centre back. Obviously Liverpool have attracted their interest in him. I think Manchester City have also been interested in him because obviously they're looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany. But yeah, as it has been saying, I think it did say Ligt had currently made a transfer admission, and I think from Ligt's perspective, he's keen on making the move to Barcelona, and I think the main reason why he wants to join Barcelona, because obviously he wants to reunite with his current teammate Frankie de Jong. Obviously Barcelona have already agreed the fee with Ajax for Frankie de Jong. I think it was around a £75 million fee, but as I did currently say, Ligt is a very good player, and obviously we know that Manchester United are in search for the central defender, and he's still very young. He's only 19 years of age, and he has flourished at Ajax, fantastically well, and he has so far spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously, he's had 3 years worth of experience, in their senior squad, because obviously he made his senior debut. He made his senior debut at just the age of 16. And Ligt, but he has become an integral part of their team. As Ligt, he's definitely going to be leaving Ajax, but his next destination is uncertain at the moment, so we don't know where he's currently going to be. But I think he did say he wants to join Barcelona as Ligt, and quite a few times some media reports have said that his move to Barcelona has currently stalled. But now with Manchester United coming in with an improved offer, this could tempt Ligt to snub Barcelona and make the move to Manchester United. But I do believe if he came to the Premier League, or if he currently went to Spain, this would definitely take his career to the next level. Obviously, he can leave Ajax, with his head held up high. Can Ligt obviously winning the domestic double with them for the first time in 17 years. Winning the domestic double, including the Eredivisie title for the first time since 2014. Also progressing his team to the Champions League semi-final. Also scoring in that game. And I think he's the only defender, of course, to win the Golden Boy Award. Is Ligt, but he's only 19 years of age. He's also very tall as well. Which is very beneficial. But as I did say, reflecting back a couple of weeks ago, as you all know, guys, that Edwin van der Sar, who's currently CEO of Ajax, he came out and he did say he was very convinced that Ligt is going to depart Ajax, and he did say he was convinced that he'll either move to England or Spain, and this is what currently Edwin van der Sar said. But he did say a couple of days ago in the media that Liverpool had been in talks, with Ligt over the summer transfer from Ajax, and I think the main reason why Liverpool were interested in Ligt, because obviously Liverpool have got Virgil van Dijk, and Virgil van Dijk and Ligt know each other really well, because they're both Dutch and they're both playing in the Netherlands national team. But Liverpool don't even need a central defender. They've got Virgil van Dijk, £75 million. He's addressed their defensive deficiencies fantastically well. They've got the likes of Joe Matip, and they've got Joe Gomez, and they've got Dejan Lovren. So Liverpool don't even need a current central defender. But yeah, he's attracted interest, from quite a few clubs as Ligt, and I do really like him indeed. Only 19 years of age, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has worked out his transfer strategy for this summer, and he's blatantly made it clear, he wants to sign a number of young players, that can come in, grow, develop and emulate into superstars. So he's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. Obviously, he still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. And looking at it though, he's not going to come cheap. I think he was supposed to be initially valued at around £65 million, but I think Man United, may be tempted, to break the world transfer record for him, to get a current deal over the line, and we have got the financial power, to currently meet his valuation. So now we have reportedly improved our current offer to try and get the pursuit of Ligt. But yeah, he's definitely going to be leaving Ajax. I'd still probably say Barcelona are the leading contenders for his current signature. But now with Manchester United coming in with an improved offer, this could tempt him to turn down Barcelona and make the move to Manchester United, because defensively we have got problems, and that's emphasised that throughout throughout the course of the season because we've conceded far too many goals. And we need someone who can go alongside Victor Lindelof, and I probably believe that we do need currently two central defenders, but we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. So I think De Ligt, would be the right solution, and I think he's got all the capabilities and all the attributes, to currently succeed in the Premier League as De Ligt. So it would be fantastic indeed. But he has been an Ajax player since the age of 9. I think he became more of a first team starter for Ajax, of course, when Davinson Sanchez, departed for Tottenham, back in 2017. But yeah, he could be possibly now on his way to Old Trafford, which is very, very good news. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 players to the club this summer. He's going to get a spending spree of around £250 million, and that's probably going to get us at least 5 signings in. But as I said, if we can cash in for De Gea, we're cashing for Pogba, we're cashing for like Lukaku, that's going to help us with our transition, and that will of course help us with our rebuilding process, and that will take our spending spree to about maybe 500 million current pounds, as I said. But yeah, and as I said, we have been letting far too many players' contracts run down, and that's been another issue for Manchester United, of course. But yeah, players are expected to leave, and I think up to at least 4 or 5 could be currently leaving. Obviously, all the players that we do want to leave this summer, we're not going to be able to resolve this problem in one window. It's going to take a couple of windows, to address that problem out. But you can see the deficiencies in the squad. You can identify the areas Manchester United are lacking, and we've got to resolve these problems in the summer. And obviously we've got to get a director of football, and I do agree that we need a structural change at the club, and that's getting a director of football. There has been quite a few candidate names mentioned, but it would be ideal to recommend someone who knows the culture of the club, someone who of course has got the experience. But any signings we make this summer have got to fit the culture and history of the club, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of course wants to currently buy into our history, because at least 3 or 4 years off from mounting any kind of title challenge up, I do believe in the next couple of seasons our aspirations is going to be fighting for that top 4. But as we all do know, we have been in a really, really bad vein of form, but I'm still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Give him time, to spend in the summer, and then see what happens, going on into next season. But a lot of money has been invested into the club, since Alex Ferguson retired. Over like £700 million has been spent. We've had different managers with different philosophies. But talking about Solskjaer, I don't want him sacked yet. If it goes wrong going into the new season, I'll be critical of him, and then I will want Solskjaer sacked. But as I said, we haven't got the structure, of course, to keep sacking managers. But there's been quite a few Manchester United fans that have demanded him out of the club. I know he hasn't got a great managerial pedigree to the highest level, hasn't really won much, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he's got the experience of a player, but hasn't really got it as a manager. But it's good that he's emphasising his targets for this summer, and he's obviously worked out his transfer strategy. He wants to bring young players to the squad, young players to the team, because we have got a lot of aging up players now. Of Manchester United, we've got quite a lot of aging up players. But I do believe that De Ligt, would be the right solution. He's good in the air, he holds his line very, very well, and I think he'd be fantastic for Manchester United. It dramatically improves us in that current back line. So that is the current latest news to give you an update on that. And also too, as reports were coming out yesterday, as I give you an update on in regards to Crystal Palace's Wan-Bissaka. Now, reportedly, it said Manchester United has submitted a bid of around £25 million for Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, he's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Obviously, as you all do know, guys, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has also expressed an interest in quite a few British players. And Wan-Bissaka, I think, for me, would be the right solution. And obviously, right back is an area where Manchester United need to bolster up. Obviously, we need a replacement for Valencia. We need an upgrade to Ashley Young, and I do believe we need a cover up for Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot is the upcoming future, but I still believe that we need a cover up for Diego Dalot. And Wan-Bissaka, I think would fit the Manchester United agenda, fantastically well. I think he has got the ability, to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. He's only 21 years of age. He has been subjected to quite a lot of transfer speculation. The likes of City have been in for him. Also, Tottenham have expressed their interest in Wan-Bissaka, but Tottenham have got quite a few players on their agenda, including Wan-Bissaka, Fulham's Ryan Sessegnon, Tango Ndombele, of course, is on their agenda. And obviously, Tottenham, as Pochettino, I think, did say he's threatened to resign as Tottenham manager if he's currently not back in this summer transfer window. I think he did say after the Champions League final, Pochettino's set to hold negotiations, with Daniel Levy, regarding, what's, about, Daniel's Levy's plans for the future, and about, currently Pochettino, where his future lies ahead of him. But yeah, and as I did say, Tottenham have not done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows, and I think if Tottenham want to be up there, competing and obviously being up there, winning silverware and stuff, I think they do need a couple of players. But they have done fantastically well to get to their first Champions League final. But yeah, Wan-Bissaka is on their agenda. He's on Manchester City's agenda. Is Wan-Bissaka, but Manchester United have been linked with Wan-Bissaka, over quite a long time now. But I don't think £25 million is obviously going to be enough to convince Crystal Palace to do business with a player. I think they're demanding, they want around 50 or 60 million pounds for him, and that is potentially the quoted fee that Crystal Palace currently want for Wan-Bissaka. But as I said, 21 years of age, he's so far has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Only broke into their first team in February of 2018. I think he's now gone on to make like 39 senior appearances as Wan-Bissaka. As I said, 3 years left on his contract, and initially when Wan-Bissaka was younger, he started off as a winner, but obviously then he got rotated as a right back, and now he's predominantly in a right back, and I think he's regarded as the best right back in the Premier League is Wan-Bissaka. So I think he'd be fantastic for Manchester United, but this £25 million bid is not going to be enough to convince Crystal Palace to currently let him go. So he's been on Manchester United's agenda for quite some time. Talking about Nicolas Pepe from Lille, good news came out about him last week, was it? Saying that the Lille boss has confirmed that Nicolas Pepe will be leaving Lille this summer. He's attracted interest from a lot of clubs, based on his fantastic performances. But obviously looking at it, is the obvious candidate for the right win for Manchester United is Nicolas Pepe, because obviously he's primarily a winner is Nicolas Pepe, but he's been fantastic this season with Lille. He's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, and I do believe he'd definitely exceed expectation levels in the Premier League, with this player. He's got all the capabilities and the attributes, to succeed in the Premier League. Only 23 years of age, so I've still got a lot of years ahead of him as Nicolas Pepe. But yeah, I'd love him to come to Man United. Obviously, it did say Man United have been in negotiations with Lille, to try and sign Nicolas Pepe. I think we're eyeing around a £40 million move for him, which is a reasonable figure. But potentially, I think Lille would demand that they want around 69 or 70 million pounds for him, because that's what they rate him at. Obviously, he's been on Arsenal's agenda for at least the last couple of months. Liverpool have been interested in him. I think Bayern Munich and the likes of PSG have also been interested in Nicolas Pepe. So there's been a number of clubs that have currently been interested in him. So he is going to be leaving Lille this summer. Obviously, I think if he came to the Premier League, it would be the next step for him, of course. Obviously, so far, he has spent the entirety of his career with France. He has spent a couple of seasons with Lille. He is under contract with them until 2022. But Manchester United definitely need a winner, because that's one of the areas where Manchester United are lacking. But we've expressed our interest in quite a few winners, as you all know. But maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because as we all know, there is a lot of players on our agenda that are available for a reasonable figure. Because as I did say, it's maybe not always about spending big on players and all that, because obviously Man United have got an history of spending big on players, and a prime example, Pogba 89 million, Lukaku 75 million, but it doesn't always guarantee you to get in that commanding position, and it doesn't always guarantee you success, as it has been proven, because obviously we paid 75 for Lukaku, 89 million pounds for Paul Pogba, and it hasn't got us in that position where we currently should be. But we have a toxic football club at the moment, and we've got to be ruthless in this summer transfer window without a shadow of a doubt, and we've got to take dramatic action. But yeah, I do believe Nicolas Pepe would be the right solution for Manchester United. And talking about, as he updated you earlier on in regards to Pedro from, Fluminense, however you pronounce the name. If I pronounce his name wrong, let me know in the comments below. This player from Fluminense reportedly said last year that Real Madrid were on the verge of signing him, but obviously he's moved to Real Madrid never materialised, with his current knee ligament injury he has sustained. I think it was a really, really bad severe injury, so this has stopped him currently making his move to Real Madrid. So now reports have come out, was it yesterday and today, saying that this is coming from I think Globalist Sport, saying that Manchester United have been in negotiations with Fluminense over the potential move for Pedro. Pedro is only very, very young. He's only 21 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. He is a centre forward, is this player. I think he's been in Fluminense's senior squad for about 3 years, because he made his senior debut 3 years ago. This player, I think he scored like 17 goals in 50 games, of course, and I think he's available for reportedly around £22 million is his player. I think Real Madrid tried to get him for around, was it £22 million pounds. Obviously, you know, Fluminense have confirmed that they're not willing to sell the player until after their presidential election on June the 8th. So yeah, Manchester United have reportedly stepped up our interest in the player. But we do need a forward, you know, that can come in and score goals for us, you know, lead them lines, of course, because that's been a problem at Manchester United throughout the course of this season. You know, we haven't been scoring enough goals, we haven't been ruthless in the front of goal, and we haven't been clinical enough in the final third. And the likes of Martial and, you know, Rashford, you know, haven't graduated to that level yet, and they're not reliable enough, you know, to deliver us them goals that we do currently need. Obviously, Lukaku, you know, could be also, you know, leaving the club this summer. So, do you believe that, you know, this, you know, Pedro, you know, would be the right solution? 21, also he's over 6 foot, so he's tall, which is very, very beneficial. But don't really know much about this player. But Man United have been in negotiations with Fluminense over the potential move for the player. But yeah, I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, so his name has currently been mentioned. But talking about, you know, players I do think are going to leave Manchester United, I probably think maybe up to about 4 players will leave this summer. Definitely Rojo's going to be leaving the club. Rojo's, you know, sustained a lot of injuries as a Manchester United player, and I think it's taken its toll on him. It's had a really, really bad effect on his career, Marcus Rojo's, and he's come injury prone since he's come to Manchester United, so we can cash in for him. You know, talking about Darmian, I think he's definitely going Darmian. Obviously, he had a lot of years of experience under his belt in Italy, you know, when he was younger. Obviously, you know, Manchester United got him from Torino 4 years ago. Obviously, I think we paid just like over £12 million for him. I think he's initially been linked to a return back to Italy. I think Inter Milan have expressed their interest in Matteo Darmian. I think from his own perspective, he probably would make a return back to Italy, you know, with Matteo Darmian. But he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. And I do believe we could get around £30 million, you know, for Rojo and Darmian. So that will be very, very beneficial. And as I did say, we know Valencia is definitely, you know, leaving the club. Obviously, you know, he's served 10 years at Manchester United, but obviously throughout the course of this season, he hasn't, you know, he's been out with a calf injury as Antonio Valencia, and this year lost his place in his squad. So yeah, he's definitely going to be leaving. So obviously we're eyeing a replacement for Antonio Valencia. Talking about De Gea, I think he's going to be on his way out, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think it's been blatantly made clear he's not willing to sign a new contract with Manchester United. And obviously, we've been in the process of trying to get him a new contract for around 18 months now. But obviously, we haven't come to an agreement to get David De Gea a new contract. Reports came out yesterday, as you all know, that reportedly David De Gea has turned down a final contract offer from Manchester United. Reportedly, De Gea is demanding that he wants around £350,000 a week from Manchester United if he's to sign a new contract, and if he is to commit his long-term future with the club. But reportedly Man United are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. So now obviously it's looking like he will be going to Paris Saint-Germain, because I think he'll go to PSG if he does leave Manchester United. I think PSG are preparing to put a bid in of around £60 million for him. Obviously PSG are willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, of course. So I think it did initially say that PSG are intending on getting him on a free transfer next year. But it would be a calamity, you know, if we let David De Gea go on a free transfer. Obviously, we want to cash in for him this summer. We could get around £60 or £70 million for him. Don't get me wrong, at full value, he's worth around £100 million for the goalkeeper's De Gea, but we're not going to get that because he's only got a year left on his contract. But he's potentially, you know, the best goalkeeper in the world. He's been a fantastic servant here. You know, he has been at Manchester United now 8 years as David De Gea. You know, he's made over 300 appearances in all competitions for the club. Obviously, he's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 6 seasons. You know, he's won the Smack Buzzer player of the year award, you know, quite a few times as David De Gea. And as you all know, he's won everything here domestically. Obviously, we do know that Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. I don't think he'll go to Real Madrid. Obviously, you know, David De Gea. Real Madrid were on the verge of getting him back in 2015, but due to a fax machine on deadline day, the current deal never materialised. And I want David De Gea to sign a new contract, but it's not currently going to happen. As I said, we've let far too many players' contracts run down. You know, Rashford's in the final year of his deal. We haven't come to an agreement to get him a new contract. You know, Mata is coming to the end of his deal. You know, we've let Ander Herrera go on a free transfer, so that's been another problem with Manchester United. So I think now Man United are not intending on buying a goalkeeper, you know, to replace David De Gea. I think now we are willing to promote Sergio Romero as our #1 goalkeeper, and I think from my own perspective that at this moment in time that Sergio Romero is not quite reliable enough at the moment to become our #1 goalkeeper, even though he was impressive in them FA Cup games this season, and he is a good goalkeeper, but I don't know if he's reliable enough yet to become our #1 goalkeeper. I know we've got the likes of Dean Henderson, but he hasn't really got the experience yet. You know, he's been on loan with Sheffield United as Dean Henderson, and we've got the likes of Lee Grant, but I think he will be leaving Lee Grant. So yeah, I do believe we need a replacement for De Gea if he leaves the club. Obviously, there's been a few names that have been mentioned who could replace him. You know, Jordan Pickford's been mentioned in the past. Obviously, you know, Jano Blanc got mentioned about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We do know that, you know, this Andrea Onana, for the Ajax goalkeeper, had also been mentioned. Allegedly, Manchester United had around a £35 million bid turned down for him, reportedly. It did say he's only 23 years of age, but he's had 3 years worth of experience as Ajax's starting goalkeeper. He's a Cameroon international. I think he's initially valued at around 35 or 40 million pounds. This is what they're valuing him at to Ajax. So reportedly, we identified him as a possible replacement for David De Gea. But there has now been a change of scenery. Now Solskjaer hasn't got any plans, you know, to bring a potential to buy a goalkeeper to replace David De Gea. So I think we're willing to promote Sergio Romero as number one. This is according to what the Daily Mail are currently saying. And talking with you about, you know, Paul Pogba, I think he's going to be definitely leaving the club. Is Paul Pogba? Obviously, as reports came out, reports came out a couple of days ago, saying that reportedly, you know, Manchester United Solskjaer and Manchester United were willing to offer Paul Pogba the captaincy, you know, to in a bid, you know, to convince him to stay at the club. In a bid to convince him to stay at the club. But reportedly now, there has been a change of scenery in this. Reportedly now, Manchester United are willing to, I think Man United are willing to offer Ashley Young the captaincy for next season. So we're willing to give Ashley Young the captain's armband next season. And we're only willing now to offer Paul Pogba the vice-captaincy role. But this is not going to be enough, obviously, you know, to convince Paul Pogba, you know, to stay at Manchester United. And I do believe he's going to be going to Real Madrid, is Paul Pogba. Recent reports did say that Man United were demanding that we're on around £138 million for him. Initially, we don't want to sell him, but I think we know if we are willing to sell him, we want around £138 million. Because we've initially lowered our price tag, because initially we wanted around 150 or 160. Or £160 million for Paul Pogba. Obviously, you know, Real Madrid are reluctant, you know, to pay 150 or £160 million for Paul Pogba. But potentially, as we all know, he's been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. Obviously, you know, he's got a lot of players on his agenda this summer, as Zinedine Zidane. But obviously, his two main priority targets are obviously, you know, Paul Pogba and Eden Hazard. There's obviously players that are expected, you know, to leave Real Madrid this summer. But, you know, some fans will be disappointed Paul Pogba's leaving. You know, some fans will be relieved that Paul Pogba is leaving, because he hasn't really exceeded expectation levels Manchester United, and he hasn't been the fundamental player as we thought, you know, Paul Pogba, you know, would have been, you know, regarding what he did regarding what he did at Juventus, because he had 4 great years with Juventus, of course. Obviously, you know, Manchester United paid £89 million for him, obviously our most expensive signing, and we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, you know, in that 3-month period, you know, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. Mainly we saw the best of Pogba when Ander Herrera was playing, so that just emphasises how much of an impact, you know, Ander Herrera made, because he freed up the likes of Paul Pogba. You know, he was expressing himself, he was scoring goals, and he was providing. So it was fantastic with Paul Pogba in that 3-month period. But at least now, in his last 7 or 8 games, you know, Paul Pogba's performances have been way below par, and he's just been so inconsistent. So that just indicates that he doesn't want to be at Manchester United, Paul Pogba. But at least in the last 4 or 5 weeks, that his agent Raiola has been in the process of you know, securing Paul Pogba his dream move to Real Madrid. Obviously, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid, you know, a while back, you know, about his dream to currently play for them. So I do believe he's still currently going to be making the move. Reports came out the other week saying that the talks between Paul Pogba and Real Madrid had currently stalled, you know, based on his £13 million a year wage demands. And yeah, so his current wage demands did not fit Real Madrid's wage structure. Real Madrid were not willing to meet his wage demands. So I think now reportedly his wage demands are set to be lowered, so he can make his move to Real Madrid. So I think he's willing to take a pay cut, is Paul Pogba. He has still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United as Paul Pogba. I think Man United have been in negotiations trying to get him a new contract, but obviously, you know, it hasn't succeeded. But he's on about £290,000 a week. His current deal is Paul Pogba. But as I did currently say, you know, Paul Pogba, you know, was linked to a move away from Old Trafford last year, you know, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, you know, he was linked with his former club Juventus. He was also linked with a move to Barcelona, and I still think there has been a lot of transfer speculation going on, you know, about his former, you know, club Juventus interested in re-signing him. But obviously, Juventus, it did say, would have to offload a couple of their essential players, to fund the move for Paul Pogba. But according to what I saw yesterday, was it, or the day before, that report now we want around £138 million for Paul Pogba. But potentially, he's still one of the best midfielders in the world, when he's playing in the right vein and manner. And maybe one of the main factor reasons why Paul Pogba, wants to leave the club, because he wants to be playing amongst better players. He wants to be in Champions League football, wants to be challenging and winning silverware. And obviously, he isn't getting this at Manchester United. So this is maybe one of the main reasons why he does want to leave the club. Obviously, he's 26. He's still in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Pogba. But obviously, we're going to need a replacement for him. And if we can get around 120 or 130 million pounds for him, we could get maybe two players with that money. But yeah, we're going to need a replacement for him. But what's going on in regards to Lyon's Tango Ndombele now, as reports did come out emerging out from the media last week, saying that Manchester United I'm waiting on Paul Pogba's future. I'm waiting for Paul Pogba's future to be currently clarified before we do make any kind of approach or bid for Lyon's Tango Ndombele. So we have to reportedly, we did say we delayed our move for Tango Ndombele until we know what's going on with Paul Pogba. But Tango Ndombele has been subjected to quite a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, he's been linked with the likes of Tottenham, Juventus, PSG. I think it did say Tottenham are the leading contenders, to currently get the pursuit of Tango Ndombele. I think he's initially valued at around 87 or 88 million pounds. Is Tango Ndombele, only very, very young, only 22 years of age. Obviously, Manchester United would see him as an adequate replacement for Fernando Herrera, because I think he's primarily a central midfielder. Is Tango Ndombele. I think he can also play him as a defensive midfielder, if I'm right. But he's only very, very young. Obviously, Lyon got him permanently for around £8 million, because initially he had spent one season on loan with Lyon, so he has been on Manchester United's agenda. He's a compassive midfielder. He breaks up the play very, very well, very, very energetic. I think he's supposed to be very, very good on and off the ball. So yeah, I think he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. But for me, I don't see us getting a deal over the line for Tango Ndombele. But as I did say, I do believe the right replacement for Pogba, would be Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes. And obviously, he's been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time now. Man United have been scouting, Bruno Fernandes. And again, he's only 24 years of age, he's Bruno Fernandes. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. And I do believe he'd exceed expectation levels if he came to the Premier League. And I think if he came to the Premier League, it would take his career, to the next level. Obviously, Manchester City have been interested in him. Obviously, Manchester United have been interested in him. And obviously, he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba, because Bruno Fernandes is primarily an attacking midfielder. He can score goals, he can provide, as he has proven throughout the course of this season with Sporting Lisbon. His initial release cost is around £86 million, but I think Sporting Lisbon did say quite a few weeks back that they're demanding, they want around £60 million, and that is reportedly the quoted fee that Sporting Lisbon, do currently want for the player. But yeah, 24 years of age, still got a lot of years ahead of him. And yeah, I'd love, Bruno Fernandes, to come to Manchester United. Had a lot of experience playing in Italy when he was young, with the likes of San Pandora and underneath. So yeah, I do really, really like Bruno Fernandes, and I'd love him, to come to Manchester United. I'd love him to come to experience these facilities, and I think he'd blend in really, really well in our midfield. So yeah, he would be the right solution. So whether we get him or not, I do not know. But yeah, Manchester United have been heavily linked to him. Obviously, as reports were coming out yesterday about Real Madrid's Isco, saying that Manchester United had been interested in Isco. It said also Manchester City were interested in Real Madrid's Isco. To be quite honest with you, I think he's a good player. Isco has still got a lot of development in him, but I don't see how he would fit in the system at Manchester United. To be quite honest, I think he'd fit in Manchester City's system, but I don't think he'd fit in Manchester United's system. Isco, and obviously, looking at it, he's going to probably, if Real Madrid do decide to sell him this summer, he's going to cost you like over £100 million is Isco. But I still really, really like Isco. I think he's primarily an attacking midfielder, is Isco. But yeah, so he has been at Real Madrid 6 seasons now, is Isco. I think he's made like 277 appearances for them in all competitions. Obviously, won a lot of silver Real Madrid, including 4 Champions Leagues. Obviously, Real Madrid got him for £27 million from Malaga back in 2013. And so far, he has spent the entirety of his career in Spain as Isco. But there has been a lot of talks about him, currently going going on. Is he still under contract at Real Madrid, if I'm right, until 2022? But yeah, I don't see how he'd fit in Manchester United's system, but there was talks about that, currently going on yesterday. Maybe Real Madrid may have to offload him, to make room, for new arrivals and that. So these players that I've expected, to leave Real Madrid this summer, because, but Isco's enjoyed a very, very difficult time this season with Real Madrid, and Real Madrid have been very, very inconsistent this season in general, but Isco's enjoyed a very, very difficult time, especially, when Santiago Solari was there. He enjoyed a very, very difficult time, and this season mostly, Isco's appearances have been currently from the bench. So yeah, so this is why maybe this is another main factor reason why there's been rumours that Isco could possibly leave Real Madrid. But yeah, he's 27 years of age, he's highly experienced, and I do believe he'd tear up very, very well in the Premier League, but I don't think he'd fit under our system at Manchester United. But I think he'd be the right solution maybe for Manchester City or something like that, and maybe a player of Isco's calibre anyway. Probably wants to be in Champions League football, of course, and obviously we haven't got that for next season. So there was talks about that going on yesterday about Isco, and but I'd rather spend that £100 million on the likes of Jadon Sancho or Joe Felix. I know Jadon Sancho is probably not going to happen, but I like this Joe Felix, because I really, really like Joe Felix, and he did say, man, we have stepped our interest up in Joe Felix. Man United have been in more extensive talks to sign Joe Felix, and it did say Man United are preparing to meet his £100 million buyout clause. He's attracted interest from quite a few clubs. I think City have obviously been in there for him. I think Liverpool have been in there for him. Obviously Real Madrid have also been in there for him. But Manchester United have been scouting him for months now. Reflecting on his impressive performances. I think Manchester United, if I'm right, instructed scouts throughout the course of the weekend again. To keep a close eye out on the player. He's only 19 years of age. He's still got a hell of a lot of development in him as Joe Felix. He's primarily an attacking midfielder. This has only been his first season in the senior squad with Benfica. Has not yet made his senior debut for Portugal. But we have been hearing the rumours about this, since January, of course. But yeah, can play he's primarily attacking midfielder. Can play as a winner. Can also play as a striker and a secondary striker. So he's very, very versatile as this player. But we are willing to trigger his buyout clause of around £100 million. So yeah, he's been on Manchester United's agenda, over quite some time. And yeah, and I do believe he can, emulate. I do believe he can become one of the best players in the world, and I do believe he can emulate. I don't think he can emulate into a Ronaldo, or Messi, or Neymar and all that, but I do believe he can become one of the best, of course, because he's the upcoming future. He's got immense talent, and I do really, really like him. So I'd rather spend that £100 million on Joe Felix or Jadon Sancho than I would on currently Real Madrid's Isco. But talking about Jadon Sancho, I don't think Jadon Sancho's currently going to happen anywhere. Obviously, now it got confirmed yesterday that Borussia Dortmund, as you all know, announced 2 signings. Obviously, they signed Thorgan Hazard from Borussia Mönchengladbach on a 5-year contract. Obviously, they also signed Julian Brandt. Obviously, did Borussia Dortmund. So now it's probably convinced some Manchester United fans that Jadon Sancho's summer transfer to Manchester United, could be back on. Because obviously now I think actually Thorgan Hazard's a winner. I think Julian Brandt is a winner. Well, I think he can also play as an attacking midfielder. And a few times this season, Julian Brandt has played as attacking midfielder. But obviously we know that Jadon Sancho is primarily a winner. And now so obviously with Thorgan Hazard and Julian Brandt being 2 winners, now there's been talks that Jadon Sancho, could be surplus to requirements. He could find game time very, very difficult. So this is why maybe Manchester United fans are convinced, that his summer transfer is back on. But I don't see Jadon Sancho coming to Manchester United now. I think the main factor reason why, we're set to miss out on a move for him this summer is because obviously we've failed to get into the Champions League for next season. And as I did say, Jadon Sancho for a long, long time, was the club's number 1 priority target. And Manchester United, were willing to pay his £100 million valuation because we've got the financial power to meet that. But as I did say, I think Jadon Sancho obviously, confirmed he's intending on spending at least another season with Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund themselves, from their perspective, are very, very confident that he's going to spend another season with Borussia Dortmund. But only 19 years of age, one of England's youngest upcoming talents, and I do really, really like him. He can play between the byline, he can score goals, he's got assists, he's got immense talent in him as Jadon Sancho, and I do believe it would help him with his with his developing process more if he was to make a return to the Premier League, and it would create a better platform for Jadon Sancho, because he's obviously had a couple of years experience in the Premier League before with Manchester City, but never really got the opportunity, and this is why he left City, and of course, went to Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund know how much of an essential player he is. They do know how much of an essential player he is, but Borussia Dortmund have lost some of their key players in recent years. They lost Pulisic to Chelsea for 47 million. Obviously, You know, they've seen that's obviously they've got the replacement for Pulisic. Obviously, Thorgan has the replacement for Pulisic. Obviously, they lost Ousmane Dembele for around 105 or 106 million. You know, they lost Aubameyang for around 58 or 59 million pounds to Arsenal. So, Borussia Dortmund know how much of Jadon Sancho. Borussia Dortmund know how much of a central player Jadon Sancho is, and looking at it from a financial point of view, you know, Borussia Dortmund would make a huge profit on the player. You know, they'd make a 90-odd million pound profit on him because they got him for next to naught, really. They only paid around 7 or 8 million pounds for him from Manchester City, but I don't see us getting Jadon Sancho a move for. I don't see us getting Jadon Sancho, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And, you know, talking about Juan Mata, as I've been giving you an update on now, reportedly Newcastle are interested in signing Juan Mata, and he's another player that's likely to leave Manchester United, because obviously, you know, we've failed to come to an agreement, you know, to get him, we've failed to agree a contract extension for Juan Mata. Obviously, we do know Juan Mata has been at Manchester United, you know, 5 years. All in all, he's been in the Premier League about 8 years, so he's had a lot of years of experience under his belt in the Premier League, and he's been a fantastic servant in the Premier League, and I want him to stay at least for another season, you know, Juan Mata, because I think he's been a very, very consistent player for Manchester United. Obviously, he has made over 200 odd appearances in all competitions for the club as Juan Mata, so he's been a great servant to the club. Obviously, we paid just under £40 million for him from Chelsea, was it back in 2014? And yeah, but I don't see Juan Mata staying, so I think he's going to be going in the summer when his contract comes to an end. But I think Man United were willing to offer him a new 1 year extension. But yeah, I think he's currently going to be going. But he doesn't even get in the team now anyway. Juan Mata obviously lost his place in the team. He's obviously now a squad player. He's Juan Mata. He did play in a couple of games. Did Juan Mata, you know, towards the back end of the season. He did look pretty good. You know, he was playing in that number 10 role. But obviously now he's aging up. He's 31. He has lost that yard of pace as Juan Mata. But reportedly now Rafael Benitez is interested in signing you know, Juan Mata. Obviously, you know, it remains uncertain, you know, whether he's going to be at Newcastle next season or not. But reportedly, Rafael Benitez wants to sign Juan Mata. Obviously, Rafael Benitez is keen on reuniting with the player. Obviously, you know, Juan Mata played under Rafael Benitez, you know, during his spell with Chelsea, Juan Mata. And yeah, so reportedly Newcastle are interested in signing him. Obviously, we do know that, you know, Barcelona have been in talks of getting Juan Mata on a free transfer. But I think maybe from Juan Mata's perspective, he maybe would, you know, prefer a return to Spain, because obviously he's Spanish himself, had a lot of experience of playing in Spain when he was younger. That's where he initially began his career with Real Madrid, had 4 years with Valencia, you know, Juan Mata. So I think he probably maybe would make the move back to Spain, or will he continue playing his trade in the Premier League, you know, if he does decide to make the move to Newcastle. So yeah, I definitely think he's going to be leaving the club, is Juan Mata. Obviously there was talks before that, you know, Brighton had showed an interest in him. They were willing to offer him a 2-year contract. That came out quite a while back as well. I think he's been subjected to interest from the likes of Visit Bilbao or Atletico Madrid, you know, Juan Mata. But yeah, you know, I think he's definitely not going to be leaving Manchester United without a shadow of a doubt. Talking about, you know, Lukaku, you know, I think he's going to be leaving the club. I think he is. He's been, you know, he's attracted interest from the likes of Inter Milan and Juventus. I think have previously been linked to him in the past. But yeah, I think Lukaku, you know, should leave Manchester United because he hasn't got the capabilities, you know, to play to the highest level. He can perform better, you know, when he does get that support up front, he can look a bit more effective. But you know, he hasn't got it. Lukaku, his first touch concerns me. He's a big game bottler, of course. He's too slow, and I've got strong reservations about him. Of course, his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. You know, he's had years of experience under his belt in the Premier League, so he's well Premier League proven. Of course, we paid big money for him. You know, we paid £75 million for him. Plus 50, well, there were 50 million add-ons included, so it had risen the deal to £90 million. You know, he's still got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on about £250,000 a week. So Man United are willing to let him go. We'll try to recoup the initial £75 million, you know, that we did pay for Romelu Lukaku. But he did well in his first season. You know, he scored 27 goals in all competitions. But obviously, throughout the course of this season, he has failed to replicate that. And he has initially lost his place in the team, because we know mainly that Marcus Rashford has been first choice ahead of him. And talking about Paulo Dybala, now reports are saying that Manchester United have been in negotiations with Juventus for like over a month now, you know, over the potential move for Paulo Dybala. So recent reports did suggest out that Paul Dybala's agent and his current brother strongly suggested that, you know, that Paul Dybala, you know, could leave Juventus this summer, and this is according to Dybala's agent and his current brother. But I don't know if Paul Dybala, you know, would be the right solution for Manchester United. You know, Man United have been in talks with with Juventus for like a month now over getting the pursuit of the player. Initially, I think he's rated at around, what, £85 million is Paul Dybala. Obviously, he has spent 4 years in Italy, with Juventus. Obviously, winning 4 Serie A's and 3 Coppa Italians during his 4-year period. And we have seen glimpses of his best form. Obviously, hasn't been to his best throughout the course of this season, because obviously hasn't really had the opportunity this season, Paulo Dybala, because obviously since the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, he has found game time very, very difficult. But he's only 25, is he now? He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But the question is, has he got the capabilities? Can he exceed expectation levels? If he does come to the Premier League, Paulo Dybala. So I have got some concerns about him when it comes to his defensive contribution, when it comes to some of his touches. But he can score goals. But if he came to Manchester United and he did score as them goals, and he did score as them goals, and whilst he was adapting other areas of his game, that would be potentially good enough. So he is on Manchester United's agenda, and obviously we would see him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. But yeah, Man United have been heavily linked with him, and we've been in talks for like a month now or so. But his agent and brother recently revealed that they've strongly suggested that Dybala could leave Juventus this summer. They're the current Argentinian. And give you a bit of an update in regards to Daniel James. Now, reportedly, as it has broke out, that Daniel James has withdrawn from the Wales camp, of course, because obviously his father has currently passed away. So now Daniel James' proposed move to Manchester United, could be delayed, for quite a bit, based on his the death of his current father. It's just been currently confirmed now as I've just read it up. But obviously, he has withdrawn from the Wales camp, as Daniel James. I think it initially said anyway that a fee has not come to a full agreement yet. I think the initial fee will be around £15 million, or if there's add-ons included in the deal, it might rise up to around £20 million for Daniel James. Obviously, he's already agreed personal terms with Manchester United as Daniel James. Obviously, the stories broke out about this earlier on in the month about Daniel James saying that he was close to agreeing a £15 million deal with Manchester United. But I have got some concerns about Daniel James coming in. Obviously, we're getting him from a lower division, but has he got the ability? Has he got the minerals? To make it to the highest level? Can he exceed expectation levels at Manchester United? Daniel James, but he's only 21 years of age. He's a Welsh international. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. As he said, Daniel James. So he's primarily a winner, as you all know. He's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side, is Daniel James, but he's a low expectation. He is a surprise solution. He's only got a year left on his deal with Swansea, and so he has not yet played to the current highest level. So with him coming to Manchester United, he will take his career to the next level, of course. But yeah, he primarily plays on the left. He can play on the right, and I think he can also play as an attacking midfielder. I think he's played 30-odd games for Swansea City this season. He did say Brighton had come in at the final hurdle, but I think from his own perspective, Daniel James has confirmed that his preferred destination, would be Manchester United. But now the move could be delayed, for quite a bit, based on his father, currently passing him away. So this is obviously made him withdraw from the Wales camp, of course. But yeah, the move is definitely imminent now, and he's going to be probably our first signing for this summer is Daniel James. So obviously then getting that, we want to build on that, and get some other players in, and so we'll see what happens with that. So that's mainly everything to update with today, but the main part of the video I wanted to give you an update on was in regards to Ligt from Ajax. As I did say, reportedly now Manchester United have come in with an improved offer for Ligt. After recent reports were reflecting out a fortnight ago, Manchester United put a $12 million a year, we offered a $12 million a year contract for him, but reportedly Ligt had currently turned this down. Obviously, it has been looking like he's going to be going to Barcelona, because I think from his own perspective that is his preferred destination. But now Man United have come in with an improved offer. This could actually convince him, to snub Barcelona and make a move to Old Trafford. So yeah, that would be absolutely fantastic. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing to my channel, as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.